There we go. So, hello everybody.
Hi.
It is the me again.
You're in my way.
Okay.
Move.
This is my. You farted as you did. Alright, everybody. This is my sister, and we became siblings about 24 years ago. And it's still going. Don't keep growing. Anyway, wow, okay, we're obnoxious right now.
Sorry.
Alright, so, this video I was going to do a sock puppet show. Just socks with, like, eyes drawn on them. And it was going to be about rapid cycling, because that's what I've been going through lately for quite a while, but I didn't feel like doing it. So maybe another time we'll do that. Figured we'd...
Having wardrobe malfunction.
So, we're going to do other things. Talk about family history and other junk like that to kind of show how it kind of is linked. You know, it's not just some random...
Yeah.
Occasion. Yes. I don't know. You know the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
As I've told you, words elude me. Anyway, I'll let her talk now. But you know,
well, I know, like, first, you were talking about how you're a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm, like, super short.
You are.
That's better. Well, I know, like, alcoholism runs in our family. I don't know how, like...
Intense?
Yeah, I don't know how intense it is.
I've heard of certain uncles, and we know of maybe a couple.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not really much.
Yeah, but I do know that, like...
An ancestor.
We had an ancestor, I think two, but one I'm absolutely sure of actually died in an asylum of the DTs.
Yeah. Because back in... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I talk a lot. I'm used to being the only one.
That's alright. Back then, if you were an alcoholic, or a drunk, I don't think they called them alcoholics back then, they didn't have, like, rehab or AA meetings or anything. You just got thrown into an asylum, and I know at least one of our relatives died in there, but I think two, and after Dad sees this video, he's probably going to give us a genealogy lesson.
Yep. It's supposed to look like a unibrow, but it just looks like my finger covering.
But yeah, I know that runs in our family. We have a couple other... I don't know if it's not that rampant in our family, or if it's not that talked about in our family. Mm-hmm. But... Yeah,
so far, I feel like I've dealt with the worst of any of it.
That's what I was going to say, like, because I know, like, depression runs in our family, anxiety runs in our family, substance abuse runs in our family. But it seems like it all trickled down and, like, accumulated, like, with you.
You have a giant pool of insanity. Yucky, nasty, goopy pool of insanity.
Ew. But, what else? Like, as far as I go, let's see, where should we start? Sounds bad.
Well, when did you notice things were a little different for you?
Well,
in most
it's always kind of been, because since I was little, everybody just thought I was shy and quiet. Like, in preschool, I wrote that paper, but I have, like, a progress report. Like, it started in preschool. I went 2 years. I went when I was 3 and when I was 4. And they did, like, their little progress reports, and they would say, like, Kara's very quiet and doesn't talk much to teachers and other students, and my parents were like, what? Because I was like, a loud, bossy little brat at home. But when I was out interacting, yeah, we didn't always get along this well. But
I can make my eyebrows move.
But whenever I would go out to, like, school or be around, like, other adults that weren't my parents, even like, aunts and uncles and grandparents, I was, like, terrified. And I didn't really talk much. But everybody just thought I was shy. And I was like that all through school. When I really noticed it was in high school, like, senior year, I would, I don't care. Like, I would raise my hand to answer a question, and I would answer the question, but whenever I was done talking...
Oops!
I go really dark in here. I would get that tightness in my chest, and... Are you dying back there? I would feel that tightness in my chest, and, like, I was having trouble breathing, and I'm like, what the heck? And I think a lot of that... What I really noticed it was bad, like when my mom realized it was a problem, is we had, in my English class, we had the Art Institute of Pittsburgh came in to do like some sort of presentation, and you could fill out like a little card to do an early, like not early admissions or something like that. It was to send in an application early or whatever. So just write down your information and they'd call you and all that stuff. The Art Institute of Pittsburgh, because I wanted to do design video games back then, but
I still
yeah, it would be cool. But but so I did that, and I filled out the card, and then I don't know how long it was, a few days or a week or something later, they called me, and I answered the phone, which I was good at doing back then. I answered the phone, and they told me who it was, and I froze, and I'm like, Mom, you know, and she's like, what? And I'm like, it was kind of like, help me, like, but how was she going to help me, you know? And I was like, and this lady's like, hello? I'm like, I have to call you back. And she's like, okay, and I hung up on her, and I just hit the floor and just started bawling, and my mom's like, what is wrong? And I was like, I can't breathe, and, you know, I had a freaking, I had a panic attack, and...
Sorry.
Yeah, that's when I realized it was really bad. And then I made the excuse all through high school that I was a cheerleader and I had to dedicate my life to being a cheerleader, so that's why I couldn't get a job. But really, I was just too scared. And
yeah, you could be a cheerleader?
Yeah,
that's weird.
That is the weirdest thing ever. I was able to be a cheerleader, but I couldn't.
Maybe because you weren't singled out in the group, you were with a group collective group.
Maybe it's just because I love doing it so much.
You were cheering. Remember when you were younger at Josh's football games, you'd be cheering with the other cheerleaders.
Yeah, I would go down with kids.
So would I.
You were just copying your big sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they made me an honorary varsity cheerleader when I was in 4th grade. And they let me be in the homecoming parade and cheer with them, and at the homecoming game, it was pretty cool. But anyway, so then after high school, after I graduated, I was like, hey, I'm going to take a year off from going to college. Another excuse, because I was too scared. And they're like, okay. I'm like, well, I'm going to get a job. That didn't work. I couldn't keep a job because my anxiety was so bad. I worked at Papa John's for like 3 months, but that was when I was going around hanging coupons on people's doors. I didn't have to work in the store. I didn't have to answer phones. I didn't have to talk to people. I just walked around.
Planted and run.
I walked around people's neighborhoods and put coupons on their doors. And I liked doing that, but once winter came, they're like, well, let's try putting you in the store. I was like, okay, well, I know people here now. First day, I was really nervous. I was doing okay until the one manager, the phone rang, and he's like, answer the phone. I was like,
Oh, can I stop you there really quick?
Go ahead.
That's actually what caused me to quit my first job, too. I was doing fine. I was holding a sign. This was at Little Caesars. I was holding a sign by the road. So somebody gave me a finger, as they drove by, which is okay. Fuck you too, buddy. Don't buy a pizza. And anyway,
and
what was I doing?
Answering phones.
Oh, right. As time went on, I only worked there for actually 2 weeks until they started having me, do the cash register, which. The thing is, it was basically a sheet of paper on the cash register, a sheet of paper with a bunch of squares and rectangles with very faded lettering on it and a nasty, dirty mat over top, so I couldn't even see shit. It's like, I didn't want 1,300 pizzas. Well, you're getting it.
Too bad I don't know how to fix it.
And then the phones were the worst. I could have eventually learned with the cash register, surprisingly, because you actually are face to face with people. The problem is they had me answer the phone, and take the order, everything was abbreviated. And I'm not
that's a problem.
No, it's not. Well, not like a regular abbreviation. That's obvious.
It was like Z means pepperoni.
Yeah, and black olives is VO. Something.
Purple.
Yeah, purple.
That's what it was at Papa John's too. So you had this whole thing that you had to read, and it's like, "Hi, thank you for calling Papa John's. I'm Kara. Blah 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 blah. Would you like to try our special? Blah 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 blah." And normally people say no because they already know what they want to order. Of course, the first phone call I take, the guy's like, "Sure, what's on that?" And I'm like, X, Y, yellow, green. I don't know. I'm like, hang on a second. But yeah, that day my mom picked me up and I just got in the car and I just I can't do it.
She cries a lot.
No, I don't.
Yeah, right. After the phone call. After Papa John's. I'm just kidding.
You're an asshole. Anyway. Don't you make me pee.
You peed? Oh, made me pee. That's what I heard.
I said you're going to make me pee. So anyway, I tried to get a job.
She's crying now.
I tried to get a job at a convenience store, and first of all, it was weird. I was getting trained with a bunch of people, and I was doing okay because I wasn't like the only one in the group. But it's little things, like with the anxiety, it's little things like we had to go back and everybody had to grab an apron, and everybody went before me, and there was a bunch of them on the rack or whatever, and everyone's just, taking them off just fine, and instead, I'm just standing there like, they're like all bunched together and they look tangled, like this is going to be hard to get one off there, and like, it's going to be all tangled, I'm not going to be able to get off, and all of a sudden, it was my turn, and my hands just stopped working. So everyone else had a fine time taking the thing off, and I went over and I was having so much trouble getting it off there. It wasn't tangled, it's just my anxiety, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be hard, and then I couldn't do it, and it's stupid things like that. So then I had to cover a shift. That was my first day of training. My second day of training, I had to cover a shift in the morning because somebody called off, and I'm too nice to say, no, I don't know what I'm doing. So I went in,
Me too.
And I kept screwing up at the cash register. I'm like, I just learned how to do this. And it was in the morning, everybody's going to work, it was busy, and I screwed up somebody's thing on the cash register, and the manager came over, and she's like, and she had to void it all, but she didn't tell me what I did. Yeah, she didn't tell me what I did.
She was a bitch anyway.
I know.
Even to customers. You'd walk up, and she just looks really pissed off. Like, what the fuck do you want?
Thank God she doesn't work there anymore. But she's like, man, she had to void it, and she didn't tell me what I did wrong. So and the guy's like, you still did it wrong. That's way too much money. And I was like, So I got her again, and the store full of customers. She came out, what are you doing? She like flipped out on me.
Wait, didn't you tell her that it was your second day? Or
I couldn't really talk. I was having an anxiety attack. I was just like,
see, I want to go find her where she lives and bitch at her right now.
No, but then she's like, go sit in the back. I'm like, okay. So I went and sat in the back to calm down, and then she came back. She was nice to me, but I was already traumatized, having a panic attack, and I went back that night. What?
Sorry.
I went back that night for training, and then the next morning I called them like, I quit.
Sorry, because you mentioned panic attack.
That's fine.
I actually remember the first time I started actually having panic attacks. 8th grade, same grade that... Oh, I didn't even mention that problem with 8th grade, did I?
No, you didn't.
You remember how, if you've watched my videos, you remember how I said when I was about 13, I started to really deal with depression and cutting myself and all that stuff. 8th grade, which I was about 13, I was in... What? Because I do this?
No, I was laughing about something from earlier. I'm sorry.
Anyway. See, now I'm losing my train of thought.
I'm sorry. 8th grade when you were cutting yourself and...
Yes. Well, let's see. I actually almost... I was doing great in school. All those, all the other years prior. When I was in elementary school, I almost got straight A's many of the times. But I actually almost failed 8th grade completely. I was failing 2 classes and close to failing a third one. Somehow, and I think it was because of the science teacher, he was freaking awesome. He helped me out, and I was able to pass without even having to go to summer school. But anyway, that year I was both in band and playing football. I don't know how the hell I did that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
I remember you had a hard time with that.
What?
I remember you had a hard time.
Oh my god. Football, I hated. I don't even know why the hell I got into it. I don't know if I was trying to prove something to myself or if I wanted to just simply try something new, because I played a whole bunch of sports throughout my life: soccer, baseball, bumper bowling, and a few others. I can't remember all of them. Basketball was one. Anyway, I remember begging my parents to let me quit. I mean, I'd be bawling my eyes out, and they wouldn't let me because they wanted me to finish what I started. And I remember I distinctly remember I was sitting on the couch, and it was after that I remember feeling really hot and sweaty. My eyes were bloodshot and tears were running down, and I felt this like cold sweat. This, it's hard to explain. It's almost like just a sensation of just cold chills going through your body.
Yeah,
and just you're shaking, and and nothing else.
It's like your heart stopped.
Yeah,
your blood stopped moving.
Sometimes you feel like you're actually in hell. You look around you, and it's no longer home.
Everything is
It's shit. It's just a dark cloud covers everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't usually swear that much in these videos.
I know. We swear and do lots of weird stuff.
Yeah, it's her fault.
Yeah.
I continue.
I'm a bad influence, apparently. What's that noise?
A nose fart.
So after that, senior year was when. Holy crap! This is 17 minutes long.
Yep, this is gonna be the longest video ever.
Sorry. Hope it's entertaining. So after senior year, I tried those 2 jobs, and then. I'm pretty sure that's when we went to therapy.
When? You said I was 16 and you were 18.
I was 18, so it was after I graduated.
16 was the first time I started going.
Yeah, so we both started going to therapy, and I really liked my therapist, and I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, severe panic disorder, and acute agoraphobia. And he said one of my biggest problems was avoidance, and that was part of my agoraphobia, because it wasn't necessarily that I stayed in the house, but I stayed in places that I knew were safe. So obviously, like, getting a new job, that's not safe, and I just got the hell out of there as soon as I could. And I actually tried, while I was going to therapy, I was like, oh, I'm in, I'd been there for like a month, and I was like, oh, I'm in therapy now, I can probably get a job.
I think we should put this in 2 parts.
Okay.
So maybe once you finish the story, we'll cut that off, do 1, and then we'll do part 2.
Okay. Are we going to post them both?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
No, we'll do the other one just for the hell of it.
And post it next year.
Yes.
So you can hear the rest of my story. So, but
stay tuned for the next season.
Yeah. But, yeah. I guess that's the end of that story for now.
Alright then.
Yeah, we're gonna end this and then we're gonna continue it.
So that you can,
watch 2 videos instead of one! Yeah! Okay.
So, check out for what?
Yeah.
Look out for
part 2 is next.